Hi everyone, today I'm going to show you how to import unit checkpoint kind of completion quizzes for art, physical education, and health. And the purpose of this would be to give you guys a quick way to check for like kind of course completion since there's no like progress bar any longer. And these courses do not have like unit checkpoints or lesson checkpoints kind of built into them. So we just made some quick ones that kind of say like, I've completed all the lessons in this unit. And so we're going to import those. So then at the end of the year, you could check the gradebook quickly and see like, okay, yes, they've completed like, the course, they did all these unit checkpoints, and that will be a much quicker way for you guys to kind of assign like a pass fail than the other ways that K-12 has kind of built in for this. And then another nice thing for the families is since they don't have the daily plan anymore, it's just going to kind of pace them for art, health, phys ed. Like once we put these completion quizzes in, eventually they would show up on the students to do. So like, by October, you should have like unit 1 kind of complete. So that just gives them a little pacing also. So what you're going to do is go to the Commons and you're going to search for these. We're going to start with PAVCS because I named them that to find them quicker. And then since that's all that our school's created so far, you'll see it's the first 3 options. So today I'm going to import the art completion quizzes. So I'm going to click that. And then you'll see there's 5. Some of the courses do not have 5 art units, which I'll show you what to do there. But you're just going to import this whole kind of module. And I'm going to put it in Art 2. Import. So it says you've successfully started. It may take a little while. Typically it doesn't, but who knows? It's a glitchy system. So I'm going to go to Art 2 and hope that they're there. Okay, so I can check it by looking at my quizzes. And here they are. Okay. And then you'll see I have one or more just because I've done this like a million times. So you could check your import status, like if it hasn't shown up yet, but I have some that have. And then it should show up in your modules also, which is where we want it to be. Now, when you import it into your modules, it will very likely land at the bottom. Mine did not today because I've done this way too much. So mine are up here. If yours did land at the bottom, I would just move it to the top, okay, which I'll do that anyways, just so you can see. And it's just going to pop it at the top, just so I don't have to scroll as much, okay? So the next thing you're going to do is you're going to need to add each of these unit completion quizzes to the appropriate module. Now, again, not every grade level has the same amount of art units, okay? But every grade level is going to move all of these, and I'll show you why a little later on. So for kindergarten, you're only going to publish 4 of your quizzes because you have 4 units. First grade is going to publish 3 quizzes because you have 3 art units. Second grade, you're publishing all 5, so you could publish the module. And third and fourth grade, you guys are only publishing 4 quizzes, okay? So this is second grade. I could publish 5, but just because there's other people watching, I'm going to just do 4 in case, because there's just a little glitch in the course pacing that I show you. So just follow along. Second grade, you have it easiest. You would just publish all of these and put them in the right spot. Everybody else, you're just going to publish however many units you have. Keep the unpublished one, and I'll show you what to do with it. Okay, so I'm going to pretend I'm a first grader, even though I'm in my second grade course. So I'm going to publish 3. Okay, so I have 3 published, 2 unpublished, but I got to keep them. And now we're going to move them to the correct units. Okay, so to move them, you want to use the 3 dots on the right-hand side. You could do it by, sliding, but we have lost quizzes if you don't put it in the exact right spot. Like if you accidentally land in between modules, the quiz disappears. And then you got to try to find it or import it again. So don't move it that way. Just click the 3 dots. And then we're going to click Move To. And hold on, let me go back to the first one. So Move To. And we're going to move this one to the end of Unit 1 because it's the Unit 1 completion quiz. And you want it to go at the bottom. So it's like the last thing in that unit that they're supposed to do. So I'm going to move it. Okay, and you'll see that it kind of takes you right down to the end of Unit 1. There's my completion quiz. And it's published, so that's great. So you're going to repeat the process. Move to. This one's going to go at the end of Unit 2. I want it at the bottom. Move. Okay, again, it brings you down to make sure it's there. Looks good. I got to scroll back up. This one's going to move to Unit 3 at the bottom. And there it shows. Okay, now, second grade, you would just keep doing this for Unit 4 and Unit 5 while they're published. Everybody else, okay, I'm just going to show you, like, if you have 1 or 2 that need to stay unpublished, this is what we're going to do. Okay, so we still have to move them somewhere. So I'm going to just put 4 at the end of 4, like I was second grade, but I'm going to keep it unpublished just to show the others who aren't second grade what to do. Okay, and then this one's going to go at the end of Unit 5. Now, if you were like a first grade and you only had 3 units to move them to, you could just move this to the end of, I'll pretend I don't have a 5th unit. I could just move it to the end of Unit 4 also, even though I have a Unit 4 one there, put it at the bottom again. Okay, and you'll see, oh, look at, there's Art 4 completion, and then there's Art 5. Okay, so it's okay to have these somewhere as long as they stay unpublished if you don't need those units. I know it's confusing. If you have questions, reach out. But we got to move the unpublished one somewhere. That kind of makes sense. So, because it's going to affect where it lands in your course pacing. Okay, so you want to kind of put it at the end of like the very last unit that you possibly can. And if you don't have 5 units, keep it unpublished. If you don't have 4 units, keep it unpublished. If you have 4 and 5 units, publish. Okay, so once you kind of have them all moved, the next thing you're going to do is go to Settings. And you're going to kind of scroll down to here where it says Course Pacing. And you want to enable that. And make sure you click this blue button at the bottom, Update Course Details. Okay, so it says course was successfully updated. And now you're going to see you have this little course pacing button. It wasn't there before. Now it is. The first time you set up course pacing, you're going to see this cute panda. You can click it here, or you could just click the blue Get Started. After you've kind of set the course pacing, if you need to adjust, it's going to look a little bit different. But right now you get the cute panda, so we hit Get Started. And what you're going to see is a start date and an end date that is very likely the same, okay? And it's going to say, oh man, these kids have no time to complete this work because it all ends and starts the same day. So what we're going to do is, dependent on what grade level you are going to adjust the days over here that the kids have to complete the art or the health or the phys ed, whatever it might be. So to do this, we created a little chart. Let me get that chart for you. Okay. So if you are a K teacher, when you go to your 4 units in the course pacing, you're going to make sure that the days, say 51 days for the first 4 published units, and then 0 for the last unpublished unit. Okay, so let me show you that. Okay, so if I was a K teacher, I would change all of these to 51 for the first 4. Okay, so 51, 51, and K would have the first 4 published. Okay, and then your last one's going to be 0, and that one would stay unpublished, and that should take you to the end of the school year. Okay, so that's what this pacing does. It's like, okay, your first unit 1 should be done by November 4th. The second should be done by January. So it's just kind of pacing the kids. Okay, if you are in first grade, you only have 3 units. So you're going to have 68 days for your first 3 published units, and then 0 for the last 2 unpublished. And that's why we moved those unpublished ones down so that they show up at the end of the course pacing. Okay, so I know it probably didn't make sense, but this is why you want them at the end. So if you're first grade, these are going to be 68, 68, 68 for the first 3, and then the last 2, which should be unpublished, would be 0, 0, and again, it brings you to the end of the school year. Okay, so just pacing the kids. Second grade, 41 days for the first 4 published units, and then 40 days for the last published, because second grade, all of yours should be published because they have 5 units. Okay, so 41, 41, 41, 41, and 40. Okay, and that should bring you to the last day of the year. And then 3rd and 4th grade, yours is going to be the same as K because they also have 4 units like you do. So it would be the 51 days for the first 4 published units and 0 for the last. Okay, so I'm going to just keep it how I have it. I'm going to just pretend I need this pacing. Okay, and then you might want to check, just make sure they didn't land on a weekend. It really shouldn't, but if it did, you could manage it like in the course settings here. Oh, skip selected days, like weekends, but I already had mine set for that. Okay, so then after you kind of make sure it goes to the end of the school year, you're going to create pace. And it might take a bit, so don't move off the page until you get like a nice little "you did it" button. Okay, I paused that for a bit while it was publishing. It only took like 30 more seconds. And so here it will say Art 2, Nichols Pace created. So that's good. So I'm going to close out of there. And so now this is what your course pacing looks like. Panda is gone. It shows you have like a pace set up. You can always modify it. Like if you messed up somehow, you can go back and modify. But now you have your completion quizzes in the modules. They have like a due date for the students where, you know, they should kind of have a certain amount of the art done by the end of the year. And then for phys ed and health, you just kind of repeat this just in those courses. So if you have any questions, please let me know.